Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Carol. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thank
Wow.
you.
2025. Geez
So
Louise, boy, where did it go?
we are stepping into a new year, and we're going to
We
be
are.
sharing the theme of stepping into your authentic self in 2025. So
Right,
we're doing a
right.
little something a little different, and
Yeah.
we're tying this reading to the first week in January in the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle
Mm-hmm.
Facebook group that we have. You are sharing with us. We came up with 7-day spreads, and every day you're sharing with us a question and deck. So it's pretty cool the way that it's playing out. So we're going to be covering that.
Yeah, so if you all that are listening in, if you're interested in uh seeing what each day is, what question is each day and want to participate with your own deck, hop over on Facebook and join the group, join the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle. We'd love to have you. Carol, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Carole Frank, and I'm an integrative practitioner of metaphysics. I have lots of modalities under my belt, and
Indeed, you do. Indeed, you do.
I feel that's why I call myself integrative because I'm kind of the Mary Poppins with her magic bag.
You are. It's a great analogy. Yeah, you just open your bag and all this stuff comes out.
Plus the mind, the mind is opened up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's fun. So I'm passionate about creating purposeful tools that stimulate potential growth through multisensorial experiences. And I just put out a brand new spread, which is the new human, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh, I'm very excited about that spread.
And I'm happy to support clients in private and group session. I'm doing in person and online. And I offer past life card readings and mini healing sessions as well. So there's a lot for us to be able to work with if you were interested in doing so. And let's meet Rosie.
No, I'm Rosemary Nevara, Rosie. Most people call me Rosie to my parents' chagrin. I'm a psychic medium, and I like to use my aptitudes. I tap into them to communicate with all manner of beings, people who have transitioned. That's the medium part. Um, I talk with teams. I talk with animals. It's really cool. I have the capacity to be able to communicate with in a lot of different ways, and it's really fun. I like to do direct readings, and I use various divination tools, oracle cards and tarot cards being my among my favorites. And I'm very passionate about using my gifts to be of service to people. It's really important to me. I had a 40-year career where a service-oriented career. It's sort of intrinsic to me. So when I retired, I still needed to find a way to be of service. And so this is a very unusual way to be of service, which makes it very fun. It's not mainstream at all. So that's what I like, part of what I like about it.
I must mention that a few months ago, just a couple of months ago, my brother lost his dog, and he was really saddened with it. And you gave him a beautiful message to carry with him. So I was very grateful
Oh,
for that.
well,
So,
that
yeah.
was just the sweetie pie, his girl, what's her name? Mabel?
Hazel.
Hazel. I knew it was an old-fashioned name. Hazel. I never remember my readings. Hazel came through, and
Yeah.
it was a delight to be able to have that available him to lessen his pain. It's really hard when you lose anybody. And if you have a deep connection with a critter like he did with his sweet girl, it's it's like it's losing a family member. So I was happy to be able to. She just stopped in and chatted. So yeah, it was very cool.
And I have firsthand experience with Rosie's healing hands remotely.
Yeah. Well, you have that capacity too.
Yeah.
Everybody does if they just tap into it and train for it. You just have to put the time into it. Yeah.
So we're here to support you in any way we can.
It's exactly. It is very satisfying.
So we are creators and self-publishers of 5 decks. More in the works on my end,
Yeah.
and so we're excited. We're going to be using those decks, but we're also going to be using extra decks from other creators. So
Hmm.
we will be introduce them as well throughout the reading. And the topic that we had this month or this week was awareness.
Hmm. What a great topic. I think in general, people walking around on the planet are becoming more aware.
Hmm. I think we have to.
Oh yeah, we're
We're
not
being
gonna
kind of pushed into that.
right, right.
So we have every week, every Sunday, there's going to be a new topic being dropped in the Facebook group that we've created, and
Hmm.
Rosie is using 7 different Oracle and Tarot decks to go through the each of the questions daily. So it should be really fascinating. And I thought it was beautiful the way that it started.
Yes. Yeah, it was a really nice, pertinent reading, I think. That's a good foot to step out on in 2025. So yeah.
So the first card, I don't know if you want to talk about it. The first card that was pulled was from the crystal deck, the Oracle of
This is the
Gemstones.
deck that we
Yeah,
co-created.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this,
And Carole's artwork. Carole is a graphic artist and she does amazing work with fractals and sacred geometry. So all of the images on our cards are her beautiful work. That's the A side of Garnet. And then if you flip it over, instead of dealing with a guidebook, you've got the message. And what's really cool is if you check the A side first, you can do your own interpretation intuitively, see what you get from the image. And then if you want to see what came up for us, you just flip it over and read it. So do you want me to talk about this one?
sure, if you like.
Sure. Okay, so Garnet voices a message. All of these cards begin with I am Garnet, and then the stone or the gem or the rock voices a message. I'm Garnet, voicing a message of be where you are when you are there. So, how more aware could you possibly be than if you were completely present in the moment, being where you are when you're there? So, yeah, it's a wonderful message. It talks about don't bother to get pulled back to the past because it's immutable. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can change about it. Usually, when people go back into the past, if it's for good memories, it's not destructive. But if it's for disconcerting or uncomfortable things, it can be very negative and harmful. And there's nothing you can do about it. So Garnet says, don't look to the past. It also says, don't look to the future because it's unknowable. It's unknowable. And it goes on to give the message that your real power is in the here and now. That's where you're most creative. That's where you're most productive. That's where the vitality is. That's where you get those surges of passion and strength and where you find balance. So, and it's the place of manifestation and transformation. So, this card, the message from Garnet encourages you to be aware, be where you are when you're there.
Yes, and I forgot to mention the question that we had asked for this one was,
Oh,
what step can
right.
I take today to become more self-aware? So it was perfect in the sense of because it was really answering the question that we
Yeah.
posed. So
It always amazes me how the card that needs to come up comes up. It's mind-boggling to me. It's like you can't make this stuff up. It's really wild. How does this happen?
and then the next card that we got was from the I Am Oracle, which is the first deck that I designed, and
Yes.
that's the I Am Thriving.
This is my favorite deck. I bought this right after Carole published it, and I still use it every single day. When did you put this out? 20 what?
It was, I received it at the end of October 2019. So we just
2019. Yeah.
celebrated again 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. We celebrated the fifth year. So I've been, and I never get tired of it, and I always find something different in it.
So
And
the
what I
question,
love about this is that there's questions at the bottom, probing questions. So in addition to giving you a question, you can also look at the questions at the bottom of the card. Again, the B side has the reading. What was the question for this one
so the
for
question
day
for this
two?
one for day two was, how does self-awareness contribute to my transformation? And the card that you pulled is, from the I Am Oracle, is I am thriving. So this talks about, living from a space of mindful intentions and being heart-centered. Thriving fosters My thriving fosters transformation. So again, in that place, in that place of awareness, and what contributes to my transformation is the awareness helps to thrive, and then the thriving helps with the transformation.
And then you start all over again. It's just like a circle, it's cyclical, or it's like a spiral because every time you transform, you level up. So,
So
yeah,
in this card, when I designed it and why it became I Am Thriving is because, for some reason it just made me think of the mane of a lion.
oh, yeah, it is. And the colors are very leonine. Yeah,
Yeah, so it just felt, um, kind of felt like the power of the strength of the lion, and
absolutely.
and
And it's got
they
the golds in it. Yeah, that are
they
so
have a
pretty.
presence. It's like that
Yes.
magnificent, majestic presence. So I
Hmm.
felt like this. That's how I became Thriving. Um, and then so I love how it just entails, no, dovetails into
Right.
the next question.
So do we have still have day one up on the screen? Do we want to go to day three
Oh,
now?
sorry.
That's okay. So day two was thriving, and
Good
so we're on
catch.
day
So now day three.
day three. So that was a reflection card. This was do you want me to do this one or do you want to do this one?
Oh, you can go ahead.
So this comes from the Akashic Tarot by Sandra Ann Taylor and what's her sister's name?
Sharon and Clint.
Sharon Ann Klinger.
They're
They're
twins.
really, what is her last name?
They're twins.
Klinger.
Finger. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're twins. They're
Yes.
twins, and it's so interesting because they came in with lots of gifts, and they're very, very interesting. I've seen them do presentations. I've never seen Klinger do a presentation separately, but I've seen Sandra do presentations separately, and I've seen them work to twin to do presentations.
I
So
had
it's
a
always,
I had a workshop with both of them,
yeah,
uh,
how was it?
in Lilydale in New York, a few years ago, and it was about the Akashic records. And
Oh,
it was a
oh,
three
then you
day.
should talk about this card. You talk about this card because you've had the opportunity to work with them.
You're welcome to do it. You pulled the cards, but I'm just fascinated by the whole the whole concept of tapping into your past lives, and the information that you can retrieve, and they're with the reflection card, which is this one. So it's
And what was the question? What was the question for that?
the question is, how will fostering my awareness nourish my soul?
Oh, so through reflection. Interesting. So what's your take on that card?
So for me, I'm very proponent to do the introspective work so that I can become more self-aware. And
Right.
for me, the way that I approached, my growth at the beginning of everything was, looking at my triggers. What keeps showing up? And then from that, then I reflected and say, okay, so I'm attracting this. Okay, so what can I do to no longer track this, I became more self-aware of what comes into my field, what energy, um, what I feel around me. And if I'm usually not that type of person that will ask to be seated at a different restaurant and on a different side, but as I became more self-aware and more aware of my environment and aware of energies, I started doing that, and it's not a problem. And I understand that it's a problem for the hostess because she has a job to do. And,
Right.
and I grew up in the food industry, so I understand totally that, sometimes you just don't want to accommodate the customer in that way. But at the same
Mhm.
time, as I was I had put an intention that day before I walked into the restaurant. And in order for me to receive what I had intended to receive, I had to be moved to a different section. So it was
Mhm.
really interesting. And it was a different, so the more self-aware I am, the more introspective I become, and the more reflective I can pay attention to what's going on and how I'm responding, how I'm reacting.
Right. And
And
because you were aware of that and you had yourself moved, you were tapped into self-awareness and you were reflecting. What was the outcome?
Oh, so the intention before I had sat down at my dining table and I asked before I left for the to the restaurant, I asked to be shown love and abundance. And then when we got to the restaurant, so she sat us on the right side, and then I asked to be moved to the left side, and then I ended up sitting on my friend was on the banquette kind of thing, the bench kind of thing. And then I
Mhm.
was on the outside. She's by the wall, and I'm on the inside within the restaurant on the chair. And as soon as the waiter came by, he put his hand on my shoulder. And
Mhm.
every time he would come by the table, he would put his hand on my shoulder. And I'm like, so I asked my friend, I said, is he doing this to everybody? So she was checking to see he wasn't doing it to anybody else. And so when I asked for love, then touch is a way of showing love,
Yeah,
of being shown love.
absolutely.
So I was being touched. And so it was kind of funny. And then to just pay attention to what was happening. And then we ended up having like free dessert. We ended up leaving with like 2 days of worth of soup.
Oh my gosh. So there's the abundance part.
And then my friend ended up off because we used to, one day she pays, one day I pay. Kind of, we're that kind of friend where we don't split. We just, take
Hmm.
care of each other that way. So
Hmm.
this time she picked up the tab too. So I was shown love, and I was shown,
Wow.
and we had the biggest laugh because for the reward I had put my phone number on the receipt so that I could go towards rewards point. And my friend goes home and she calls me back and she's like, we had the biggest laugh because she calls me back and she says, I think he left his phone number to you. I said, no. I said, that's mine on the receipt. But she's not, he had put the waiter put his phone number on the receipt. So it was so that would have been more love, be shown.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, be careful what you ask for, right?
Yeah, exactly. And well, and be aware. Notice if what you asked for, be aware to see if it comes in. So
Yes,
yeah.
it was fun. Um, let's see. You has this card asks you to close your eyes and feel yourself filled with an emotional peace as calm as it's a still lake. You are now in a
Hmm.
state of intuitive reflection, and then it's offering you to open yourself to receive a word of an image from spirit.
Hmm.
So, in the practice of the new year. I used to frequent, sometimes I used to do the white stone ceremony in
Oh,
Unity
right,
in
right.
Virginia. And that's kind of the same concept. So one way that you could memorize that is, write it on a stone or on a piece of paper that you actually can connect with daily as a visual reminder. Because for me, I needed when I first started doing this rebuilding for myself and being more connected and feeling more, becoming more aware, I needed the visual reminders because then it felt like it was the easiest connection that I can make.
I know you're very into the whole sensorial thing, so I'll share with you one of the things that I do. I have a beautiful decorative plate, so it's eye candy, it's visual. And then it's sort of expensive. I buy the ones that aren't organic for this. I use bay leaves and I use a fine tip Sharpie and I'll write on a bay leaf and then I put it in the decorative plate and then I can smell it. So it hits me with my olfactory nerves. And one of the best access to memories is a sense of smell. And then it's visually pleasing. And then I have a reminder there for me.
Nice, nice. That's a great process. Great way to be connected and be reminded and place it where you can see it every day and connect with it every day.
Yes.
You know, like
That's
at
why I
the
use a decorative plate because it's pretty and I have it in a place where I walk by it.
right, like
Yeah.
by the entrance or something,
Yeah.
then you're walking in and out. So do you want to
Yes.
carry on to the next card?
Sure. Well, we're going to move to number 4.
Yeah.
So that I think that comes from Denise Lynn. What was a question? I
So
don't have, yeah, the Sacred Destiny deck. Yeah.
the question is, what leap of awareness can I embrace in this moment?
Say that again. What
What
leap?
leap of awareness can I embrace in this moment?
I asked you to say that again because when you said leap, I realized, and I was hoping this up, and I
Oh,
realized there are two dolphins leaping, and they're leaping, and dolphins are an expression of joy and happiness. They're also oftentimes, if in some of the tarot decks, the newer ones, you'll see them with the Two of Cups because they partner and they're about love. So, yeah, so this, I thought, what a great answer. Happiness, leap into happiness.
I know. That's the perfect card.
Yeah, I was shocked. And I love the colors. There's this pink, which always makes me think of unconditional love, and heart chakra. And the water's got the orange and some red. And so I think about, and which is interesting because it's water, but it's got these colors on it. So there's connection to to the sacral chakra, which is creativity, and the orange color. And then of course all the blue, gorgeous blue, which is to me the throat chakra. This was a very when I saw this, it really made me think of the chakras, the gold of the sun of the third chakra and power, the power to express and be in happiness. And then the blue made me think of the throat and speaking your truth and by being speaking your truth and being aware and being authentic, that can bring you happiness. Sometimes it makes things a little bit tough, but ultimately you're happy. And then the deeper blue made me think of the connection with the intuition, with the third eye, and how I'm always happier when I listen to my intuition than when I don't. So this was an interesting card for awareness when it popped up.
Well, it's and I know that the dolphins are one of the most the one of some of the wisest animals on the planet, right? Because there a lot of people go healing with the dolphins.
Yes, I
And
have a friend who used to take people she's from Japan, and she would take people to Hawaii and work with Joan Ocean, and they would do healing with the dolphins. Dolphins also have very high IQs measured on a human scale, and dolphins uh, have throughout history, there's stories of from the seafarers about being rescued, saved by dolphins. Their lives have been saved by dolphins. Um, yeah, they're a really interesting creature. I saw a thing the other day of a whale who had become entangled, had nets and stuff in its mouth, and dolphins found some people on a boat and led them to this whale. They were scuba divers, and the divers got in and freed the whale.
it's
How
pretty
about
awesome.
that?
Yeah, and I don't know about
They
you.
went on the rescue.
But I also feel like the way their is that called their nose, or is there a different word?
Yeah, their beak. I
Their
think they
beak.
call them beaks.
I always feel like when I look at a dolphin, I always feel like they're smiling because of the
Yes,
way.
they always look like they're smiling. They're such amazing, amazing creatures. They're such a gift to the planet. They have a whole language. They've done interesting research on dolphins for decades.
So let's move
So
on
we're
to the
to
next
day 5.
day
Yeah.
5. Um, so day 5 question is, how does self-awareness change my relationship with myself? And
Right,
the card that came up is from our manifesto deck.
right,
That's that you and I created. And this is the card. It's all about
right. It's such a
change.
gorgeous card.
And for us, we have the information right on the card. We don't need the guidebooks.
Right. We just, yeah, read from it.
So we do more intuitive readings that way. And for the purpose of each card from the manifesto deck starts out with, for the purpose of manifesting my soul's desires. As I walk my path, I discern what to leave behind, celebrating each new milestone strength my momentum. So, and then this is again, it's reminding you us to live in the now, where everything is attainable. Living in the
Mhm.
now is where I am full of vitality, hope, and insights. Each step leads me to fulfillment. So
Right,
it's really about changing the relationship with yourself and paying attention and living in that present moment. Uh,
right.
because the the future is yet to get created, and then the past is already gone, and
Nothing you can.
but at the same time, it's past, present, and future is already it's all one. There's no.
Yeah. I think we have a card in the crystal deck about that talks about the all time, where,
Yeah.
it's not past, present, or future. It's how time really is. It's the all time. Yeah. I love this card because it looks like a path to me.
Yes.
It looks like it has detours. It can, you can separate, diverge, and come back together. So I think it's really, really interesting. And I love the colors because it also suggests growth. It also looks sort of tree-like,
Yes. I was
like
gonna
something
say.
blossoming. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you use our cards, we encourage you to look at the image because one of our friends who has our deck says, I never see the same card twice. Because every time she looks at it, there's something else she needs to see. So we encourage our curators of our decks to look at the image before you jump into what the information on the back is, so you can see how it pertains to what you were asking when you pulled the card.
And the way that I'm holding it right now, it almost looks like, because I feel like it's almost for some reason today I'm having the idea that it's like the opening of a forest, and then you have it's like a secret path or something like that. But also here, the way that I'm holding the card on each side, it feels like there's two eyes here.
Well, and you know what I just noticed, way you're holding it, is what you just pointed about the eyes and the ears. I saw the wings of a butterfly.
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah, with the colors
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
So
So
we
that's what we're
encourage
talking
you
about.
to look before you leap into our write up on the back, because the information that you get by looking may be more pertinent because you saw it through your lens. And we
Exactly.
all see everything through our lenses, and everything, our lenses color everything, our awareness, and all the ways we see things. So yeah, that's a great card. I love that card.
Um, and then,
So
then
on days.
and I just wanted to just look at what you had written in the
Oh,
in
uh-huh.
blue. And it says, I celebrate milestones living in the now where everything is attainable and each step leads toward fulfillment and changes my relationship with myself. So I like
Yeah.
that last sentence. Um, because it is about, the most important relationship is with yourself.
Oh, yeah,
and you have to nurture
absolutely.
that. So,
It,
um,
it influences every other relationship in your life that you experience, your relationship with yourself. Yeah,
and the more aware you become, and the more discerning you become, because then you're able to kind of take a step back and not get pulled into the emotional spiral events or situations or whatever. You can actually be an observer, and then you can really discern, is this for me? Do I need to leave this behind? Can I move forward with this? Is this for the benefit of myself? Is it for the benefit of others? Why am I doing this? Looking at if there's an agenda behind it. So really awareness is like to me, it's kind of like the foundation to your awakening
absolutely.
and your growth.
Well, and I like how you use the word observer. It made me think of Eckhart Tolle, how he talks about being in his books, he talks about being the sacred observer. And so when you're aware, it's almost like you step back, you sort of step out of it and leave it there and then watch it in a mode of observation. And that gives you a different kind of awareness as opposed to being an active observer. You become a passive observer and just pay attention. Um, yeah, I love that whole idea about observing, stepping
What?
back and observing.
And then it gives you the chance to course correct, because if you're not
Absolutely.
liking what's playing out in front of you, you have a choice to make. You could either,
Absolutely.
stay and be playing, be still be part of it, or you could
Mhm.
be choosing another path. Or
Exactly. And we always have choices. Free will, baby. Well, we've had conversations about that. Do we or do we not really have free will? Because we come in with contracts and we make plans about what we're going to do when we get here. So, how much of it is free will? So,
yeah,
yeah, but so
for me, it's more about the free will is the kind of like the predestined, because of the time and where the place that I was born kind of dictates some of what I'm here to do. So that's where I feel like maybe I don't really have free will because
I
I
had
was
a really interesting conversation with my friend Jude, and we had this whole talk about free will. And she said, well, this is what I think. She said, I think that before we come in, we work with our soul groups and our soul families and everybody that we're going to be communing with when we incarnate on this planet. And she said, I think it's sort of like we do an outline, like a rough outline of what we want to accomplish. And then the details are filled in later. And that's part of the free will part. Some of it isn't, but and sometimes in those details we make choices that we probably hadn't thought about making before we came in. So we end up taking detours. But yeah, so that's her idea that we came in with a rough outline and then the details come in later.
so is that why we're supposed to concentrate on the bigger picture?
Probably.
So then the next card that we had, or the
For day
yeah,
six.
so that's with the consciousness deck. So how do you want to pick that one up?
Sure.
How,
Here's
how
the
does
consciousness deck.
Yeah, this is the consciousness deck, and this is our deck.
I
And
love this image. I
I,
love this image. It looks like a universal face coming out of the cosmos. I love it.
so the question we have for this one is, how does embracing my emotion of fear facilitate becoming more aware?
Right.
And
And that's for day six, right?
yes, and you pulled,
I pulled facet work. So
which
here's the card. Here's the card. It's so interesting that we started out with the head, and then Carole did all of the fractal work within it. And every time we look at them, we see something different. So, and all of these start with the phrase, I am grateful for. So Facet Work makes a statement that I'm grateful for the understanding of the roles I have played throughout many lifetimes. So an awareness of that, acknowledging and learning to balance my light and shadow. There's Facet Work right there, providing lessons for my evolution as I move into my true power. By embracing all facets of my being, I welcome all forms of forgiveness. I find my center. What better way to be deeply, deeply aware than to do shadow work, light work, facet work?
Yeah, that's the best place. It can be intimidating, but at the same time, it's
Oh,
so
yeah,
rewarding because if you have patterns that have been playing out, and if you're unhappy with what's been showing up or what you've been experiencing, that's where shadow work is important because for me, I was attracting predatory energies, either
right, right,
and especially from the male side of of life of people, and
mhm,
I made the choice that that was no longer going to be acceptable. So then
right.
I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? And then that's why I got into my healing journey, and then facilitating it for others now, because a lot of it is also mindset. It also can be trauma from this life and past life. It can be,
Exactly.
so it's fascinating how much stuff um, the imprints that we carry. I
Hmm.
always call it imprints because I feel like we can change that imprint. It's like we can erase it in some ways. It
Right.
has to reside there for eternity and eternity, but at the same time, we're living accumulation of all these experiences that we've had in past lives. So
Well, and what's really interesting is one of the way you became aware of some of the things that the patterns that you've been working on breaking and have done beautifully, by the way. You've done a beautiful job of that, is you've done quite a bit of past like work. And
yes.
you found themes running through your past life. So then when you say, why did that happen to me? And you did some awareness work to go into past lives, and it's like, well, in this lifetime this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, so you saw the pattern. And so when you find that pattern, when you're aware of that pattern, you can break the change.
Yep.
Yeah, we're on day 6. Oh, well, I think we're on day 7. That's
Yeah,
facet work.
we're
Yeah.
moving on to 7. I need to synchronize my my
Well,
timing.
you know what? This is the first time we've done this. This is a trial run for us. So you are doing multiple things. You're talking, you're holding up decks, you're holding up cards, you're interpreting, you're reading questions, and you have to change the screen. So you are a consummate multitasker, my dear friend.
All right, then the
Oh, I
last,
was going to say one
yes,
more thing about
yes, of
facet work and
course.
the shadow side. I remember the whole idea when I first started working with shadow, the whole idea just freaked me out. It terrified me because it sounds so scary. And then I was listening, I can't remember who it was. I was listening to somebody talk. It might have been Colette Baronita. It was somebody like that. Maybe was Louise Hay. I don't know. I don't remember who, but it was profound. And what the person said was that our shadow are the parts of ourselves that have been rejected by others. And so if it's been rejected by others, we tend to reject it ourselves. So it also, my sense was that that also has to do with healing the inner child and working through the rejection experienced over lifetimes.
And I think it's really important because it's bringing you back to a space of self-acceptance.
Yes,
And then once you accept yourself, it's a lot easier to accept others because then you recognize the light within the other. But until we
exactly.
kind of do our inner work, it's hard to. I know for me, the my inner work also allowed me to be more tolerant and more and
Hmm.
not so judgment, lack of judgment and all of that because
Right,
non-judgmental. That's what I meant to say.
right.
Um, because it's like everybody has a story, everybody has a journey they're walking,
Absolutely.
and you can't. Everybody has traumas or things that they're dealing with that no that we're very good at putting a front or a facade and working from behind that wall. We're
Right.
still trying to function even with all this stuff and then showing the best face possible. But being authentic is also, as we're stepping into our authentic self, it's about recognizing the part of ourselves that we're not necessarily happy with,
Right.
and once we acknowledge them, we can do something about it.
Right. And we can, like you said, we can become more tolerant. One of my dad's favorite sayings, my dad grew up on the Navajo reservation in northern Arizona, and he had all these nice little sayings all the time. And this was one, I'm sure it's been around for a while, but he actually walked around in moccasins. And he would say, Rosemary, don't judge a person until you've walked at least 10 miles in their moccasins. And I said, okay. So I learned to try and be less judgmental. It's easy to drop into though. Boy, it's really. And then I'll hear his voice. You're not walking in that person's moccasins. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to day 7.
7. I think this one is yours.
Okay, so we just got this deck, so I'm not very familiar with it, but I'm working with it.
Yeah, we just got it. I just got it's Sandra Ann Taylor's newest deck, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think it's her newest one and it's an energy deck. She has one other energy deck
Yes,
that
she
she
does.
did. Yeah.
The first deck that I got from her was the energy deck, and then now she's doing the past life
Does
energies.
the past life energy tech. So all of her readings in here in her guidebooks correlate to, she brings up the past life component of why that could be happening, which I
Uh-huh.
think is valuable
Right.
because a lot of people don't even entertain that concept. But yeah. So what was the question?
So the question is, in order to find my authentic self within the layers of my being, what needs to come to my awareness? And the card that you pulled for that is personal power. And it talks about having a core of strength vibrating within you. Yeah, this is the card.
Yeah, nice card. I
Uh,
wouldn't mind running into that guy in a forest.
I don't know.
He's
You have a core of strength vibrating within you, within your eternal code, and it radiates outward through your capabilities and endurance. Your determination is a powerful force that allows you to to succeed at what you do. So, the more aware you are, then into that stepping into your authentic self, and you recognize with the awareness what gifts, releasing the shadows, you can grow into the determination and the confidence and the strength, and we also have, our core has a lot of reserve of inner strength, and I think I would want to add resilience, because
Oh,
we're really asked
absolutely.
to step into this world with resilience, because um
And adaptability.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah,
those are the key ingredients to living your best life, is to, being able to have that adaptability and that resilience, and then with the awareness, so the awareness bring you the focus. With the focus, then you can bring in the determination, and you can develop the motivation. Um,
right.
and
Well, then, I think the awareness too, though, with personal power, some people aren't even aware that they have personal power. They never knew it or never thought it or never realized it. They aren't aware that they have it and they have given it away or it has been taken away from them, so that they part of their shadow work would be finding out why and bringing that being aware of that and taking their power back. So many people struggle with that. They're unaware. And yeah, me too. And uh that's a constant topic for a lot of people. I think that, and especially being women all over the planet, because of patriarchy, have been relieved of their power, or their power has been taken away, or they're led to believe that they're powerless.
yeah,
Um,
I think the part of the powerless is definitely true, because I know I can talk for, I felt like I was very controlled in
mhm.
a lot of ways, until I made a big decision, and then I had to find, I didn't even know that I had options. So what
Exactly.
kind of power do I have if I don't feel like I have options?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I was tunnel vision, and that was whatever was in front of me. That was it. That's how it was. That's how it was going to be done, and there was no other way to do this, or there's no. I didn't even allow myself to dream.
Yeah.
So
Right.
so
Right.
where is the power in that? There's no
No,
power.
no power. Yeah.
So it's a great reminder for us to in order to find my authentic self within the layers of my being, what needs to come to my awareness? Personal power is
Personal
one
power.
of
And take it back. If you gave it away or if somebody stole it, take it back. Take it back. Take it back. It's yours. It doesn't belong to anybody else.
but I think part of it also is, trauma can play a big part in
Oh,
developing
yeah, for
power,
sure.
especially sexual trauma, because then it creates that disconnection.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
sacral is where your power is. And the stomach, the solar, and then the sacral, and the so if you're being violated at the root of your being, um, you don't feel secure, you don't feel safe. It takes away your power because
Takes away your power.
so
Well,
there's
that's why rape is not you know, decades ago, people used to think it was a sex crime. It's not a sex crime. It's a power play. It's about stealing someone's power. It's about power over dominating.
yeah. So
Yeah,
so it's doing our work is really important for us to really show up at our best version of ourselves, and there's so much light to look forward to as we walk that path. So
right. And as you make yourself aware and reclaim your personal power and move forward, you become a beacon. We had just lost a beacon of light. Was it yesterday or day before? Jimmy Carter died.
oh,
Oh, and he was such a beacon of light. He was such a humanitarian. He wasn't a successful president, but he was a very successful human being. And he was a beacon because he used his light and his power to do good. And he was aware. He was very aware. Even though he grew up in a structured patriarchal religion, uh, he was he was really an interesting being. So yeah, he knew how to use his power for the highest good.
nice. So we invite you to join our Facebook group, the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle. We hope that this reading is supporting you in kind of navigating life in the best light. And every Sunday we're going to be introducing a new topic. So I think the one coming up is going to be forgiveness.
Yes, forgiveness is the one that actually it starts tomorrow.
Yes. So, and then next month we'll pick up from the February month. So we're going to keep switching off the different topics. We're not going to go right in order
Hmm.
because we're doing this once a month. So, but make sure to, if you're interested in the 7 days spreads, we're going to be weekly posting a new questions every single day. So, uh, if you do the work, I'm sure you'll be supported and transfer and create transformation for yourself.
Well, and what I like about the idea that we're posting the questions and then pulling a card is that uh, it invites you to become actively involved. It's not passive, it's active. So if you have a favorite divination system, an oracle deck, one of our decks, a tarot deck, runes, or ogham sticks, or anything that the I Ching, or anything that you use to divine with, you can use your system or just using your intuition, talking to your team to answer those questions and journal about those questions. It invites you to participate instead of being a spectator. You get to join in.
And you can also use those as prompt for meditation too.
Right. Meditation
Just
prompts, journal prompts.
yes. So this is kind of what we're doing. And then if you're interested in more card spreads, we've been doing a few collections, and then we also have one we have two compilations. One is 31 spreads that range from 1 card to 16 cards. And we have the second volume, which is 33 spreads, and each spread has 3 questions, and each is on different topics, from the wisdom of nuts to the uh to
It's so interesting because there really is
ancestral.
wisdom in nuts.
I love that one. Talk pistachio and hazelnut, and I think it's almond or walnut. I forgot which one. I think it's walnut that is
I
also
think
in
it's
there.
walnuts.
Yeah, and then where I created a 26 spine point working along the spine to really connect, do the body, mind, spirit connection, and the
And
45.
that's so didn't you associate those with meridian points, with flare points, acupuncture points?
So the spine is the all the vertebrae.
Oh, the
The
vertebrae. Right, right, right.
20,
I'm thinking of the meridians that you
the
did.
stomach meridian has I
Stomach meridians.
work with the 45 points of the meridian along the stomach meridian, because the stomach is kind of like where we're digesting food. So how, a lot of people
Digest
ask,
our life. Yeah.
so how do we how well are we digesting it? And then I just posted on my website, and now it's available, is the 50 questions, introspective question to fully embrace the depth of who you are and create exponential shift in consciousness as the new human. The new human is has higher consciousness. So all these questions are catered for you to rise in that. We also offer a Oracle Circle. It's going to be January 19th. If you're interested, there is a $10 fee to attend, and you can go on my website to sign up for it. And um, once I have payment, then you can once I have payment, then you will receive the details via Zoom. And I ask for you to register like 24 hours, at least 24 hours before, because I don't want to be dealing with administrative, trying to send the links right before it starts. So I really would
Right,
appreciate if the registration closes 24 hours prior to the event.
right. Yeah, so you show up for the Zoom at once you
Right.
get the link with any deck that you want to use or any divination system you want to use, and we'll have questions for you to
Yeah, we
work on.
create a spread to work with, so we got lots to work with. And if you wanted to reach us for any kind of support sessions and readings, we're available. And we'd love to support you. And we also created the a Patreon community. So it's on patreon.com/soulful joyful living. You can join us there. We are in the process of building it, and we're going to be relaunching. We used to have a links for a few months, and now we're rebranding everything into the Soulful Joyful Living one. And we're going to be relaunching in February, kind of officially, but we're building it up. So there's something to see if you wanted to join right now. So we
Yeah,
look
we're very
forward to
excited about it.
supporting you in any way we can, and so we're grateful. Thank you for being with us. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Rosie.
Thank you, Carol. It's always a treat. It's always a treat.
Thank you so much for all your wisdom, and for all your work in the Body of Wisdom Oracle Circle.
No,
We
it's my
really
pleasure. It's my
appreciate
pleasure.
you,
It's a great joy. It brings me a lot of joy. So
and we'll see
have
you
a
next month.
wonderful, yeah. See you next time. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks. Bye.